my name is Kirsten Winkler, this is EDUKWEST, and together we are on the search for better education. Today's guest is Shiv, Operations Director of Languagelab.com. Shiv, it's a great pleasure to have you on today's show.
Thank you, Kirsten. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Okay, so before we start, would you please be so kind and introduce yourself to my viewers, give us a little bit of information about your personal background and, of course, what led you to the launch of Languagelab.com?
Okay, so my personal background is in computer science. I studied computer science at university and worked at several jobs in the industry over the years, and started Languagelab.com with David Castell back in 2005. So the idea for Languagelab.com actually came from the computer games industry. So we saw how effectively people learn language in computer games when they're playing with foreign people. And we tried to mimic this into a language learning experience and created Languagelab.
Okay, and what you do as Languagelab is that you offer English language lessons on Second Life. And how would you explain Second Life to somebody who has never used it before?
Okay, the easiest way is to imagine a 3D game. So you're controlling a character and you're in this 3D environment. You can walk around, interact with objects, talk by typing or with your voice chatting. So it's this big 3D world where users from all over the globe together in this one space doing things together.
Right. And why did Languagelab choose Second Life as environment for English lessons?
Originally, back in 2005, it was really the only option. There were very few virtual worlds around, and this was the one with the biggest population, the the best ability to integrate with websites and build different things. So it was really the best at that time, and still is now, actually.
Okay, and so talking a little bit about your activities as Languagelab, so you have your own island, and it's called English City. And what are you offering, and how do you teach English there?
Okay, so English City is very different from your traditional language teaching experience. So we built this whole big city in 3D. It's meant to replicate a real city. So you get bars, nightclubs, offices, houses, churches, everything you'd expect to see in a real city. And this city is populated by our instructors who play characters in the city. So you've got the barman, businessman, lady who drives the bus, etc. And the students come into our city and spend time interacting with these characters. And the characters have different activities to do, and they make friends, form relationships, do fun things together. And through doing this, they practice the language and actually use the language in real situations.
Okay, I see. And what are then the, let's say, the big advantages using a virtual world as learning, but of course also as teaching environment?
Using the virtual world, really it's multi-sensory learning. So people learn in different ways. Some people prefer written material, some oral, some pictures, some by actually doing things. Virtual worlds lets you cater to all those different styles. So because we have a big virtual world, things are presented visually and orally and in written form. You're walking around, you're actually doing tasks rather than reading about things. You can relate different environments to different experiences. So from the learner's perspective, learning can be much more effective.
Okay, I see. In one of my own last blog posts on kirstenwinkler.com, I wrote a little bit about my own experiences in Second Life. And one of the biggest problems for me is the vanilla sky effect. So standing in an empty city, basically, or walking around in an empty world. And this happens to me all the time on Second Life. And I think I'm not alone then. So what are your thoughts on this?
That is a problem for people who come into Second Life and don't really know what's going on or what to do. We get around this by our city. It's about 20 islands. It's a sealed off area where only our students and teachers are allowed into. So when you join from our website, you land directly in our city. and you're met by our teachers, and all our teachers and students are there in this central point. So you know where everybody is at any given time, so there's always people for you to interact with.
Cool. Okay. If you compare the massive success of, for example, World of Warcraft around the globe through all different age groups to Second Life, what are the differences, and do you think some of it could be or can be transferred to Second Life? Looking at the comments on my own blog, people who are on Second Life seem to have quite a strong passion for it.
Yes, people who are on Second Life probably use it more than World of Warcraft users do, and they tend to be in their late 30s, which is the average age for a Second Life user now, and that's come down a lot over the years. I think the growth of Second Life will be very different to the growth of any MMO, because now growth is led by projects like ours, so people come to Second Life through us to learn English. They don't really care about the rest of Second Life. And there are lots of other little projects in Second Life that are pretty much the same, so people come to Second Life for that specific project.
So
okay,
so I
all
see.
the current growth is around these projects.
I see. Okay, so more coming for a specific purpose, as you say, than really coming for the big overall or general Second Life experience. Okay, I see. Interesting. Yeah. At the beginning of Second Life, I can remember that there were some issues about the usability of it, that you needed a fast internet connection, a powerful computer, which made Second Life quite inaccessible for the masses. Would you say that this is still the case, or how did it change?
It's true to some extent. So when we started back in 2005, we found most of our students were in Western Europe, where internet connections were good, computers were better. We had much less from Asia and the rest of the world. Right now, we have students from more than 50 different countries, so dominantly from Asia. So there's been a big shift for us from students from Europe to Asia, and I think that reflects internet connections improving, computers quality improving, people buying new computers, and I mean, as more and more countries come online, more and more people access the service. And we've recently had students from Colombia, Haiti, places where we wouldn't have got students from in 2005.
Okay. Good. Okay. Very good. After many schools and universities opened their virtual campus on Second Life right from the start, many of them also shut down them soon afterwards. What do you think was the reason? The bad reputation Second Life gained, or the lack of interest? And then, of course, personally, why did Languagelab stay on Second Life?
I think a lot of people joined Second Life because of hype, and they didn't really have a real purpose. They thought they'd build a thing there, see what happened. It didn't really work out. It was more of an experiment, and they left. So we actually had a real purpose, and we were bringing people in to teach English, and that demand hasn't changed. In fact, the demand to learn English is growing. So our customers are still there. People are still looking for us, wanting to use our service. So we stayed, and will stay for as long as it's a suitable service for us.
And as you said before, it is still for you, it is still the virtual world, so you're not really interested in going somewhere else, expanding. It is still Second Life for you as company.
At the moment it is, yes. We're constantly keeping an eye on everything else that's happening. And,
sure.
There's some interesting things coming in the future, I think, but at this stage there's nothing that will take us away from Second Life.
Okay, good. Do you think virtual worlds will become an overall trend, not only for games and leisure, but also for business and more education?
Yes, definitely. I think we're starting to see now more and more schools take it seriously, certainly in education. There are lots of English schools with plans to build in Second Life who will be getting involved in the coming years. And businesses already, we've seen big businesses in London use Second Life as their meeting point instead of flying people around the world. And as people become more concerned about carbon and reducing pollution through long-haul flights, that will be a big growth area.
Okay. Do you see Languagelab as a part of Second Life, or is it more you using Second Life as a platform, a communication tool, and could it be basically any online world for you?
We use Second Life mostly as a platform. Our students may go out into Second Life, into the community, and do other things, which is good for them because we want them to speak English as much as possible. So that community has some value for us because our students go there and speak English in it. But primarily Second Life is a platform for us. And if a better platform came along, we could switch to it.
Okay, good. We will see. So would you agree that you have to see Second Life as a tool, as a platform, as you said, for companies like Languagelab to build something on their own, like the Android platform, Google Apps, rather than seeing it as, let's say, one virtual world like World of Warcraft?
Yes, I mean, it's definitely a platform for you to do something on. Otherwise, I think the normal Second Life community just enjoys socializing. So if you just want to go there and socialize and hang out with people, then you do that on the normal Second Life.
Yeah,
but
I have
for
this
any business application, you need to build something.
Okay. Then Languagelab and your approach helped me, we can say, to wrap my head around the Second Life environment. And as a last question, if you could tell someone who didn't use Second Life before one thing to do there and one thing definitely not to do when joining the world, what would it be?
Okay, so when joining Second Life, instead of using the normal join, you'll get a list of communities you can go to. So find one that you're interested in. There'll be, learning English, learning German, building things, making all kinds of crazy communities. Find one that interests you and go there. And as soon as you get there, talk to somebody and find out what's going on, what you can do, and go to an event. The thing not to do is go in, get stuck in the help area, wander around and log off without speaking to anybody who knows how to use it. I think the best way to get involved in Second Life is to go to contact one of your friends who are there already, see what they're doing, and go along to an event. Or contact one of the communities as you join up and go to an event. Okay.
So, Shiv, thank you very much for this interesting interview, this inside look in Second Life, and of course your company, Languagelab.com. Yeah, I'm looking forward to part 2 of this interview.
Thank you very much, Kristen.